All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to continue our discussion on simplifying radicals. So this will be simplifying radicals day 2. And today what we're going to do is we're going to have another Delta Math assignment, okay? So that Delta Math assignment is going to be called Simplifying Radicals Day 2. And this Delta Math assignment will be a little bit different than last time. It's going to be more practice, but it's also going to be where we just go right to our final answer. We're going to still show all the work. We're going to go through our steps, but we are going to get right to our final answer. We're not going to have to worry about going through and putting in multiple answers into Delta Math. So let's do a quick review of our perfect squares. Okay, so to review, we know that the square root of 1 is 1. The square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 16 is 4. The square root of 25 is 5. The square root of 36 is 6. The square root of 49 is 7. The square root of 64 is 8. The square root of 81 is 9. The square root of 100 is 10. The square root of 121 is 11. The square root of 144 is 12. Okay, the square root of 169 is 13. The square root of 196 is 14. And the square root of 225 is 15. Now you can just write these down, but you could also find any of these in your calculator, for example, okay, by clicking the second button and then 225, okay? And what I've just done here is I've downloaded the Calculate 84 app, okay? There are directions on the Google Classroom on how to do this. But it's just a phone app. If you have an Android device, you can actually download the actual TI-84 calculator that we use in class for free. If you don't have an Android device, that's okay. Just download this calculator here. It's a great one and does a really nice job. It's called Calculate 84. It's free for all Apple devices. Okay, so we're going to be using these to simplify radicals into simplest radical form. So let's take a look at that first question from the Delta Math assignment. So our Delta Math assignment, simplifying radicals, is going to have radical 98 as the first question. So example number 1, we're going to get the square root of 98. Okay, so if you remember here what we're doing, we are looking for the largest perfect square that divides in evenly, meaning no decimal, to 98. But we have to start at the biggest number less than 98, meaning we're not starting at 225, we're going to start at 81. So we're going to start by doing 98 divided by 81. Okay, and you're going to punch this into your calculator. I'm doing it off screen to a calculator on my side, but I get a decimal, so it's not 81. So now we'll go to 64. Okay, so again, you're going to punch in 98 divided by 64. Again, I get a decimal. Okay, so the minute I get a decimal, I know that's not the answer. So now we'll try 49. 98 divided by 49. And we get 2. So excellent. So now that we have gotten 2 as our answer, we know that we'll be using the 49 and the 2. So now we're ready to break down the square root of 98. And we're going to break it down into radical 49 and radical 2. Now the radical 49 we know is the number 7. So all we have to do here is turn that into a 7 and we get 7 radical 2 as our final answer. Okay, because the radical 49 is on our chart up here. It's on our list of common perfect squares. So we get 7 radical 2, so we can go back in and we can input that as our final answer. So our final answer here, we're going to type 7, then we're going to put the radical, and they even provide that radical button for you, and we get 7 radical 2. We can submit our answer, and we can see that we get it right, and they even go through exactly what to do here, right? They go through 98 divided by 81, we got a decimal, 98 divided by 64, we got a decimal, 98 divided by 49, we did not get a decimal, and so we can split this up here, which is really, really nice that we're able to do this. So let's try a new problem. Let's go to radical 75, and that will be example 2. Okay, so again, just going to scroll up here to my list. The first thing I'm going to try is 75 divided by 64. And you don't have to write any of this out. This could just be something that you're plugging into your calculator. And again, you're only going to care about which one does not have a decimal. So the minute there's a decimal, I'm done. Can't be 64, let's try 49. Oh, 1.5 something, decimal. 75 divided by 36. Got a decimal, so 75 divided by 25. And so we get 3. Now, why did I start at 64? I started at 64 because it was the largest number on my radical list, less than 75, the number that I was being asked to do. And I got to 25, and the reason I'm stopping here and I'm not dividing anymore is I got a number without a decimal. So I got 25 and 3. So I'm going to get radical 75 breaks down into the square root of 25 and the square root of 3. Now the square root of 25 is on my list. It's equal to 5. So I'm going to get 5 radical 3. So there we go. So I was able to break that 25 down into 5, and I was able to keep my radical 3. So let's go to Delta Math and let's go input that answer and see if we got the right answer. So 5 radical 3, we're going to submit our answer, and we did. And it even goes through all of the work for us. So again, if you get stuck, don't forget. So if we go to a new problem here, like radical 72, it can show me how to do this, right? And if I get stuck, I don't get credit for it, but there are ways to get hints and things like that. Now, I'm in a different mode here than you're used to, but I can see the solution here, and you'll be able to see an example problem on yours. Okay, so again, the only difference here is really in how we're inputting our answer. If you remember last time, we had to go to our calculator and we had to first hit that try button and then try again, and then we could submit our answer. Here we're going right to that final answer. Okay, here we're putting in, our number, radical, another number. Okay, so again, there's 2 different examples. I again suggest you on a piece of loose leaf write down this review, these perfect squares, so you have that list somewhere. Take it from the video somewhere, and then again, you can again pause the video to copy that down, whatever you need to do. And then again, the only other thing is, make sure you're actually writing this out. The part that needs to get written out is this. This is all going to be done in a calculator, okay? But make sure you're taking out a piece of scrap paper. Make sure you're writing all this down. Very important that you do that. All right, that's it for this video. I will see you on the next one.